as well, team. So, before going to our demonstration, team, okay. So the very first concept that we are going to focus on is what is manual testing and automation testing. Now, before going to what is manual testing and automation testing, let us go and discuss what is testing. Okay. So, what is testing, team? What is testing? Testing is that you are going to validate something. Let us say, for example, team, okay, say you are preparing a recipe at your home. You are preparing a dish or a recipe at your home to serve your family members. Okay, so before you go ahead and serve your family members, what you're gonna do, you are going to taste it a bit. Why? Are you feeling hungry? No. Then why you are going to taste it? So thing is that you just want to validate whether all the ingredients that you have mixed in preparing that recipe, whether it may be either the salt, the pepper, or some other ingredients that you have mixed are in the right quantity or not, and the recipe tastes good. Okay, recipe or any of the Indian dish or whatever Mexican dish or US dish, whatever the dish that you know, okay, you are preparing over there. Okay, so you are going to validate whether it is giving you the good taste. So before you go and serve to your family members, obviously you are going to taste. That is something called as testing. So in our day-to-day life also we are going to perform testing, but we doesn't know that is called testing. Alright. Now see, over here similarly, even in an IT sector, okay, we are going to validate the software. And that is something called as software testing. So software testing, it is a process of verification and validation, okay, to ensure a defect-free application to the client. Okay, so what is software testing, team? Software testing, it is a process of verification and validation. Now, verification is a development activity. Validation is a QA activity. To make sure, to ensure in the sense, to make sure or to guaranteeing the client saying that whatever the application that you are going to provide him, whatever the application that you are going to submit him, that is to the client, okay, is a defect-free application. Now when I say defect, what is the defect in? A defect is a mismatch between the expected result and actual result. Okay. So what is the defect? Let us say, for example, there is a small kid, okay, in my cousin's home. Okay. So a small kid, so for to which I want to go ahead and buy a dress. I want to buy a dress. I went to the shopkeeper, said, okay, so I need a dress for 5 years boy. Okay, for a 5 years boy. He bought up all the different dresses and he placed in front of me. So let us say I picked one. Okay. So I looked into it, it looks good. But you know, when I go ahead and see, it is of large size. Okay. So 5 years boy with a large size. Large size in the sense, obviously, the thing is that, okay, it will be pretty much, you know, it is not the right fit to the particular, it is not the right fit to that boy, to the 5 years boy. Okay. So if I go ahead and purchase it, if I go ahead and gift him, okay, and if they try to go ahead and wear that particular dress, obviously that is not fit for you. That is called a defect, a mismatch between the expected result and actual result. Okay, team, a mismatch between the expected result and actual result. So over here, team, what is ER? Expected result is not equals to actual result. So when I say expected is not equal to actual result, what is expected? It is a client expected result that we can go ahead and see in the requirements document. What is actual result? Actual result is the time when I am going to test it, test the application team. Okay. So whatever that I go ahead and see in the application, that is something called as actual result. So I want to compare the client expected result with whatever I see in the application, the time when I am testing. So when both are mismatching, that is a defect. Okay, fine. So now let us go and see what is manual testing? Okay, and what is automation testing? Manual testing over here is performing testing on the application of product with the human interaction. Yes, Steve. So when I say human interaction, what do you mean by human interaction? Okay. Say you want to log into your Gmail account. So what you're gonna do? Okay. You are going to open a browser. You are entering the URL saying www.gmail.com. Okay. Then you are going to enter the username, because when you once you open the Gmail application, it will take you to, or it will navigate you to Gmail login page. Now in the login page you can see a field, okay, a username field and a button. So could someone let me know what is the name of the button or then anybody? I hope everyone knows, everyone does have their own Gmail account. Everyone used to log into their Gmail account. Now, I just want to know what is the name of the button that you can see once you enter the username. Anybody?
Login button.
Login. No, I am talking about the username. Once
You mean the text field?
once I enter the username, what is the name of the button? No, first let me know what are the fields that you can see in the Gmail login page. What are the fields?
Yeah, user ID and password.
Are you sure user ID and password are displayed? Now, earlier it was there.
No.
Earlier it is going to show us user ID, password, and then some button.
Oh.
But now, the functionality has been changed in Gmail login page. Have you ever noticed, team?
Yeah, it's already username is displayed. We need to enter the password.
That if you go and auto save. Okay? Oh,
Like after you have to do like email address and then you have to do press next, then the password.
exactly. So, what is the name of the button that you are going to see over there? What is the name of the button? Once you enter the username,
Next.
next. Okay, team? So, what is the color of a button then?
It is green.
Are you sure it is green?
I believe so.
Okay. Fine. So let me tell you, it is in blue color. Okay. So it's in blue color. So team, this is what we are going to test it. Okay. Testing comes from the quality. Okay. That means whatever the steps that we are going to do, we'll just go ahead and neglect. The thing is that we know what to go and do, what to go ahead and test it, but we don't use to go ahead and notice it. Okay. But here, say if you want to log into the Gmail account, so what we do, okay, we are going to open a browser. I'm going to I'm going to enter the URL, that is www.gmail.com. Then it is going to launch the Gmail login page. Now in the Gmail login page, I'm going to enter the username. So once I enter the username, there is a button, that is the next button. So I'm going to click on next button. Okay, fine. So what happens when I click on next button? What happens?
It asks you for the password.
Okay. Yeah. So it is asking me for the password, asking me to enter the password. So I'm going to enter the password. Then what is the name of the button on which I'm going to click? Anybody?
Sign in.
Sign in. Yes, exactly. So what is the name of what is the color of the button? Sign in button?
Blue.
Yes, it is blue. So sign in. Okay. So sign in is the name of the button. Alright. So that is something called as manual testing. So in order to log into my Gmail account, I have to sit in front of the system. I have to do all these steps. That is, open the browser, launch the Gmail application, enter the username, click on next button, enter the password, click on sign in button. All these steps. Okay, these are all called as steps, test steps. Now this group, okay, if I group this, it is called as a test case. A test case is a set of or a group of test steps. Okay, team? So manual test engineers are going to design all these steps and they are going to execute. Execute in the sense they will go ahead and open the browser, the time when the development team has done with the development activity, and when they move the build in the sense move the updated code from the development server to the QA server. So certainly we are going to test the application in QA server. So in the QA server, I am going to follow all these steps one after the other, and I will go and see whether application is displaying the right values of. That is something called as manual testing. The human interaction. Human interaction is we are going to enter the user credentials, okay, with the help of the keyboard. We are going to click on the next button or sign in button with the help of my mouse, right team? And you are going to identify the color of the button with your eyes, right team? So this is something called as manual testing. So you are human interaction. You are interacting with the application to test. Clear everyone? Then coming to automation testing. What is automation testing? Performing testing on the application of product with the help of some third party tool. Yes, when I say third party tool, there are n number of third party tools in the market. There are n number of third party tools in the market. But preferably QTP tool and Selenium tool has got good demand in the market. Okay, QTP tool and Selenium tool has got good demand in the market. Fine. So here team, performing testing on the application of product with the help of some third party tool, with the help of some third party tool. Okay, so when I say third party tool, let us consider the Selenium tool, because we are going to focus our knowledge on Selenium tool. So what happens, what exactly that we are going to do as an automation test engineer? Let us go and see. So say let us go with a previous example, that is logging into the Gmail account. So I have all the steps, that is open the browser, launch the Gmail application, enter the username, click on next button, enter the password, click on sign in button, right? So all these are the steps. What I am going to do as an automation test engineer, I am going to collect these steps from the manual test engineer. Then looking into the steps, I am going to write the code. Okay, so once I am done, I am going to run it. So when I run it, it's the tool who is going to open the browser. It's the tool who is going to launch the Gmail application. It's the tool who is going to enter the username and click on next button. And it's the tool who is going to enter the password and clicking on the sign in button. Understood team? So who is going to work with an application? Who is going to communicate or interact with an application is the tool, the third party tool, not we. That is something called as automation testing. Clear everyone? Clear team?
Yes.
Yes.
Team, am I going faster? Prajna? Am I going
No, it's
faster?
okay for me.
Okay, how about you, Divya?
Yes, I'm okay too.
Okay. Taslima, are you able to follow me? Taslima?
Yes.
Okay. All right, team. So now let us go and see the next concept. So Selenium is a functional and regression testing tool. Okay. What is Selenium? Selenium is a functional and regression testing tool for the web-based application. Now team, what is functional testing? What is regression testing? If you are aware of the manual testing concepts team, yes. Okay, we do have functional testing and regression testing. Functional testing is performing testing on the application with respect to the client requirements or based on client requirements. So based on the client requirements, I am going to test the functionality of the application. Now let us go with the small example. Let us go with our Gmail account. Okay. Say I enter the username, I click the next button, I enter the password, I click the sign in button. Now I am into the Gmail inbox page. Okay. So I am into the Gmail inbox. Say I want to sign out, I want to log out. What I will do? I will go ahead and click on sign out button. Sign out link over there. Then again I am going to click on sign out button. So could someone let me know what happens if I click on sign out? What happens when I click on sign out button? Anybody?
You will be redirected to the login page again.
Again, yes, exactly. So I'll be redirected back to the Gmail login page, because that is what the functionality what client is expected. Okay. So when I click on sign out, it is not something that it is going to some Gmail or a Google home page, or it is not going to close an application also. Okay. It is reverting back me to the Gmail login page. Okay. And that is what the client expected result, and that is how the developers have been developed, and that is how the QA has tested it. Okay. So there is something called as functionality. Now coming to regression testing. What is regression testing? Regression testing is testing performed on modified application. Okay. So testing performed on modified application. What is modified application? Let us say the time when we are going to test. Okay. As a manual test engineer, the time when I am going to test it. Okay. I'll be executing the test cases. So basically we used to get some defects. Okay. Basically we used to get some defects. So what I will do if I get a defect in, am I going to put the defect in my hand and say, okay, I got a defect, that's good. Okay, am I going to put the defect in my pocket and say no, I'm not going to share my defect to anyone? It's not like that, right? Okay, what we need to do, we have to raise it as a defect. We have to assign that to the development team so that he can go ahead and fix it. Okay, team? So say I have assigned that to the development team. So now the development team, okay, development team is working on it and working on the defect, and he has fixed the defect. Okay, so now once he fixed it, what happens in, say the development team has fixed the defect. Now what we are going to do, we have to go ahead and retest it. Okay, we have to go ahead and perform retesting on the fixed defects. Okay, why we need to perform retesting thing? We just have to go ahead and make sure that whatever the defect that I have raised, whether it has been fixed or not. So testing performed on the fixed defect. Testing performed on the fixed defect is called retesting. Okay, fine. So now once we are done with retesting, we will be performing regression testing. So when we are going to perform regression testing, okay, after I tested all the defects. Okay, so say once I have executed all the test cases and once all the defects are fixed, okay, and then before I go ahead and move the code from the development or the QA server to the UAT server, that is the client server, what we are going to do, we have to go and perform regression testing. Why we are going to perform regression testing? Because to make sure that whatever the changes the development team has made in order to fix the defects or in order to enhance the application, some enhancements of the functionality. That means adding a new functionality into the application, adding some more fields into the application. Those are enhancements. Okay. So whatever the enhancements that the development team has done or whatever the defects code, okay, that the development team has fixed, okay, so whatever he do, whatever the development team is going to do, he is going to touch base the code, he's going to touch the code and he's going to make the changes. So whatever the changes he is going to make, those changes should not be impacting on the other functionalities which are already working fine. In order to make sure that everything is working fine or all the functionalities in the application is working fine, we are going for regression testing. Okay, so Selenium is the functional regression testing tool for the web-based application. When I say web-based application, okay, team, what is web-based application? So for a web-based application, you need a browser supporting tool. Either Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari, any of the browser supporting tool. Okay, now these are installed in your system. So if I uninstall your Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Opera or Safari, whatever the browser that you have, if I uninstall it, okay, and then if I ask you to go and open your Gmail account, obviously you cannot go and open, right? You cannot open a Gmail or you cannot at least open a browser, empty browser, because there is no browser supporting tool to go ahead and open. Team, are you able to follow me? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that is something called as web-based application. So web-based application always requires a browser supporting tool and a good internet connectivity. Okay, so Selenium tool is going to help us to go and work only on or test the applications which are based on web-based. Okay, which are web-based applications. Now how about Windows-based? What is the difference between a web and Windows? Web-based application is wherein I need a browser supporting tool and a good internet connectivity. Windows-based application is a system calculator. Okay, the system calculator. So in order to open a calculator, I don't need any browser, I don't need any internet connectivity. Right? So that is something called as Windows-based application. So with the help of Selenium, I can test only web-based application. And team, this Selenium tool was developed by Jason Huggies and team in the ThoughtWorks company in the year 2004. So in the year 2004, okay, Jason Huggies and team who used to work for a company called as a ThoughtWorks company, they have developed this Selenium. So Jason Huggies and team were the Java development people. Okay, team, and they want to go ahead and work with they want to go ahead and automate the application on the product in which they are working on. So basically, could someone let me know, will the development team is going to test the application? Will the development team is going to test the application? Will the development team is going to test the application? Anybody?
Yeah, they will do unit testing.
Okay. They will do?
Unit testing, unit tests.
Yes. Yes. So development team are going to perform unit testing. Okay. In order to perform unit testing, in order to execute their unit test cases, they created a framework. Okay. Jason Huggies and team, they created a framework so that they can go ahead and automate it. Okay. So they created a framework and they tried to work on it and it went successful. So they named that script or they named that framework. The original name of Selenium tool is JSFT. JSFT stands for JavaScript Functional Testing. Okay, I repeat, JavaScript Functional Testing. Okay, then Selenium supports multiple languages like Java, .NET, PHP, Perl, Ruby, Python, Pascal, etc. Yes, Selenium is going to support multiple languages. Okay, so over here in our training class team, we'll be focusing on Selenium using Java. Okay, if you know .NET, you can start working on Selenium with .NET. If you know Ruby, you can start working on Selenium with Ruby, no problem. Alright team, fine. Any queries in this PPT? Anybody? Any queries? Any queries team?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
Alright. Taslima, any queries?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. Pragnya?
No, I'm good too.
Alrighty, fine then. Let us go ahead and look into the next PPT. So advantages of Selenium. What are the advantages of Selenium? The first main advantage of Selenium is it's an open source tool. What do you mean by open source? Open source is Selenium is a freeware. I don't have to purchase any license. I can directly download this tool and I can start working with Selenium. That is the first main advantage. Okay, then Selenium supports all the browsers like Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari, and all the browsers, all the rest of the browsers. Why? Because Selenium itself is a web-based. Selenium is going to, with the help of the Selenium tool, I can automate only web-based applications. I can test only web-based applications. So Selenium tool have to and has to support all the browsers available in the market. Clear? Then Selenium supports all the operating systems. Okay, Selenium tool is going to support all the operating systems. So we can work on any of the operating system. If I want to work on Selenium tool. Okay, but when you compare the Selenium with QTP team, okay, so QTP tool is going to work only on Windows operating system. You cannot go ahead and install QTP tool on Mac operating system. You cannot install QTP tool on Linux operating system. Okay, because it is not going to support those operating systems. Okay, so but Selenium, when it comes to Selenium team, okay, Selenium supports all the operating systems. You can work on any of the operating system. There is no limitation over here. All right. Then Selenium supports multiple languages like Java, .NET, PHP, Perl, Ruby, Python, Pascal, etc. Okay, so Selenium is going to support multiple languages. Okay, then we can implement both user-defined and built-in frameworks in Selenium. What are the built-in frameworks? So here, team, in the built-in frameworks, we are going to focus our knowledge on JUnit, and TestNG. TestNG. So these are the built-in frameworks which we are going to focus on. Then coming to the user-defined frameworks, what are the built-in frameworks? Then actually, built-in frameworks are the frameworks designed by the vendor. We are not going to write any code for this frameworks. Is the framework which has been designed by the vendor. So we just have to go ahead and know how to go ahead and work with this JUnit and testing frameworks. Okay. Then coming to user-defined frameworks, here we are going to write or design or build our own frameworks. Okay. So it depends upon your configuration. Okay, you are going to create your own framework. So the frameworks that we are going to focus in our training class are modular framework, data-driven framework, okay, uh, keyword-driven framework, and hybrid-driven framework. Okay, all these are the different frameworks that we are going to explore our knowledge. Okay, so it's not that I am going to copy the code or paste it and explain you things. Okay, we are going to design the code from the scratch. I'll let you know how we are going to design the code from the scratch, and we'll be working with these frameworks. Clear? Clear, everyone? Fine. So these are a couple of the advantages of Selenium. Okay. Now let us go focus on the disadvantages. Now, team, let me tell you, if you don't know how to work with these frameworks, if you don't know how to work with the framework or how to go and design the framework, you are no more called to be an automation test engineer in the real-time scenarios. Okay, so at least you should be aware of working on the framework. At least you should be aware of working on the framework. Okay, not designing. Designing in knowledge is very complex. At least you should be aware of how to work with the framework. Okay, so that is what they are expecting in the real-time scenarios. This is very important. Fine. Now let us go and see the disadvantages of Selenium. Selenium supports only web-based applications. Selenium is going to support only web-based application. So that means why it came into the disadvantage team? Because Selenium is not going to support Windows-based application. It only supports web-based application. That is the main disadvantage. Selenium is a combination of multiple components, so that configuration and utilization is a bit tricky. Yes, configuring, that is setting up Selenium and working with Selenium is a bit difficult or tricky. But no worries team, here in our training class, we are going to configure or set up Selenium as a regular basis and we'll be working as a daily basis. Okay team, so probably it will bring a good hands-on experience for us to go and work on Selenium. So you don't have to bother about it. Then Selenium supports multiple languages so that we should have more technical knowledge. So Selenium is going to support multiple languages. Okay. That means you can work on Selenium if you know Java, if you know .NET, you can work on Selenium. If you know Ruby, if you know Python, if you know Perl, if you know Pascal, any language, okay, you can easily work on Selenium. Okay. So what happens over here is Selenium supports multiple languages. That is one of the advantage. Why it came into disadvantage? Let us go with an example. Say I am working in one of the projects for 5 years. So I used to work on Selenium with Java. Now suddenly my team lead or suddenly my QA manager or the client has gathered all the automation engineers saying, and they said, okay team, we have done a great job for past 5 years working on Selenium with Java. Now let us go and switch our technology from Selenium with Java to Selenium with Python. Now again I should go and run and learn Python. So it will be good if you have knowledge on Python. I think we can easily go ahead and manage. Okay, so that is what the disadvantage. Okay, it never happened. The thing is that it will happen going forward. Okay, the lack of technical resources. Lack of technical resources in the sense I can hire very few people who have strong knowledge on Selenium in the market. Okay, pointing. Now let's go and see the next concept. Selenium components. Okay, Selenium is a combination of multiple components, and majorly there are four different types of components available. There are four different types of components available. What are they? Selenium IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay, team. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Please hold on, team. Okay. So here, Selenium IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay. And the Selenium IDE is a record and a playback tool. I can record the scripts and run the scripts. Okay. Now, but this Selenium IDE is not used in the real-time scenarios. Selenium IDE is not used in the real-time scenarios. Now, let us go and look into the next component, Selenium RC. Selenium RC stands for Remote Control. Okay, here remote control in the sense there will be a server. Okay, team. I have to first start the server. Only then I can run the code. If my server is off, I cannot go ahead and run my code. If my server is off, I can run the code. The thing is that it will not execute. It will throw error saying your server is not up. Go and start your server. Okay, so that means we are dependent on the server over here. And again, the Selenium RC till mid of 2016 we were using Selenium RC team in very few projects. Now it has removed. Okay, now it is completely removed. Then coming to Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver over here is helpful for us to go ahead and test the application on different browsers. Okay, we can go ahead and test the application on Firefox browser. I can similarly go ahead and test the application on Chrome browser, Opera browser, Safari browser, Internet Explorer browser, Firefox browser, whatever the browser is. Okay, I can just go ahead and launch an application and test with the help of Selenium WebDriver. So the Selenium WebDriver is used in the real-time scenarios. Okay, then coming to Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is wherein, okay team, I can go and perform parallel testing. Now when I say parallel testing, what is parallel testing? Let us say there is a main machine. This is my main machine on which I am working on. Okay, now main machine, here I used to have the code. This is my Selenium code. Okay team, now I am going to connect this main machine to two new sub machines, two machines. The configuration of this machine is it has Mac operating system with a Chrome browser, and it has Windows operating system with Opera browser. Now when I go and run the code over here, team, since it is connected to these two machines, okay, it is connected, okay, to these two machines. It is connected to the server team. Okay, it is connected to the server to this machine. So this main machine is called as a hub. HUB hub. These connected systems are called as nodes. NODES nodes. Okay. So when I go and run the code over here in this main machine, since it is connected to two or three systems, whatever the systems it is connected, it will go ahead and save, execute the test cases. Say the test case is test step R. Open the browser, launch the Gmail application, enter the username, click on next button, enter the password, click on sign in button. So all these steps are done in Mac operating system in the Chrome browser. It's going to open the Chrome browser over there. Here it is going to open Opera browser. Similarly, parallelly, okay, at the same time it is going to connect to the two machines. It is going to open the browsers. Okay, and then it will work accordingly. Okay, team. So that is how we can work on Selenium Grid. Okay, so in order to perform parallel testing, Selenium Grid is pretty much useful. So we are going to look into this Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. But team, in our training class, we are going to look into all these concepts. We are going to look into all these concepts. Okay, you don't have to bother about it. But Our main focus is on Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. Clear? Fine team. Any queries? Then let us go and see how I am going to work with Selenium IDE. As I told you team, IDE is the record and a playback tool for the web-based application. So I can record the scripts and run the scripts. So then what is this? This is the add-on for the Firefox browser. Okay, Selenium IDE is nothing but add-on. What do you mean by add-on? Add-on is nothing but license. It is a license for Firefox browser. That means we can install IDE in Firefox browser, launch the IDE from the Firefox browser, design the scripts and execute the scripts only through the Firefox browser. So blindly I can say Selenium IDE. I can install and work with Selenium IDE only with the help of Firefox browser, because I cannot install IDE. I cannot install Selenium IDE in Chrome browser. I cannot install Selenium IDE in Internet Explorer browser. Understood team? I cannot install IDE in Chrome browser. I cannot install IDE in Internet Explorer browser. So by default, Selenium IDE is going to support Firefox browser only. Okay. Now let us go and see how I can go ahead and automate it. Okay team, how I can go ahead and automate it, which is very simple thing to go ahead and record and play. So let me go and open the browser team. Over here I'm going to open the Firefox browser. Alright, so before I go with the Firefox browser, what is the configuration that I need to do? I need to go ahead and install Selenium IDE. How can I install Selenium IDE? Okay, I'm going to the official website of Selenium. First I need to launch my official website of Selenium, that is seleniumhq.org. I repeat, seleniumhq.org is our official website of Selenium. So once I launch into seleniumhq.org, what I need to do, you can see the downloads link over there, right? You can see the downloads link. Okay, you just have to go ahead and click on it. Okay, so once I click on it, it will take me to the downloads page. So in the download page, you need to go ahead and look for Selenium IDE. Just scroll down. Scroll down. You can see Selenium IDE over here, team. Okay, so you need to go and click on this link from addons.mozilla Firefox. So once you click on it, what happens? It will take you to add-ons page. I'm going to click on it. It will take you to add-ons page. Now, in this add-ons page, what we are going to do, team, we are going to click on this button. Okay, we are going to click on this button. Okay, fine. So let us go ahead and click on that button. Add to Firefox. See, it is going to download Selenium IDE and it is asking me to install. Okay, I have installed. Now it is asking me to restart. I'm going to click on restart. It is going to restart my browser. Okay, let it be restart. Alright, so here is my application. Now let me open facebook.com. Facebook.com application. I want to automate this facebook.com application. Okay. Now where can I find the Selenium IDE? Go to your tools and you can see Selenium IDE over there. Just click on it. Team, the browser is Firefox browser. Okay. Because I cannot install Selenium IDE in Chrome browser, Internet Explorer browser also. Okay. So now by default my Selenium IDE tool is in the recorded mode. Okay. When I say recorded mode, what is that? It is recording. Is it recording my voice? Is it recording the screens or what? It is recording the functionalities. Selenium IDE will record the activities or the functionalities which you are going to perform on the application. Okay team, activities or the functionalities which you are going to perform on the application. Now let us go ahead and automate this. Let me go ahead and record it first. So I'm going to enter the values. Oh. Alright, so let's go and see it. I'm going to say Selenium training. I'm going to enter password. See, you can see the time when I'm going to enter the values over there in Facebook application, it is automatically generating some script over there. Right thing? I'm going to say first name, search name, mobile, email, password, and say I'm going to check this female radio button. That's it. Stop it. Okay, and let me go to google.com. Okay, so my recording, recording of the test step execution has been done. I have recorded. Okay, now if you go and look into the Selenium IDE, I do have the test case. By default, the name of the test case is untitled. Here I have a scroll bar, that is I can go and while executing the test cases or the test steps, I can go ahead and keep it to faster or slower. Okay, I do have two buttons, play entire test suite and play current test case. Play entire test suite is, say I have multiple test cases over here. If I want to go and execute all these test cases, I can click on this play entire test suite. Okay, if I go and select any one test case from here, and if I go ahead and click on this, it will go and execute the selected test case. Okay, then I do have a command, a target, and a value. So value is whatever the input data that I am going to put in the application, it is going to pull it and it is going to update it over there. Okay, so command is whatever the activity that I am going to do, whatever the activity that I am going to perform on an application, that comes into the command. Okay, team. Now target is, say there are 5 links. Okay, there are 5 links, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to click on the third link. Okay, I want to click on the third link. How can I go and identify the third link? With the help of the target. Okay, so that says the target. Clear? Fine. Now let us go ahead and automate it. I'm going to automate it. I'm going to run it now. Since I recorded the script, now I'm going to run it. I'm going to click on this button and see what happens. So once I click on it, what happens? It is going to launch Facebook. Now it is going to enter the values. Am I going to enter it manually? No. It's the tool who is going to enter this values. Is the tool who is going to enter the values. This is something called as automation. Clear thing? Understood everyone? Understood team?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any queries so far team? Any queries?
Mm.
No, I'm okay.
No.
Okay. Alright team. Fine then. So yeah. So let us go and wind up our today's class over here team. Okay. Since we are done with Selenium IDE, and if I talk about the Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, okay, in the demo class, obviously, yeah, I can go ahead and explain about that as well team. Not a problem. The only thing is that you'll get confused looking in the code and all these things. So team, as I told you in our training class, yeah. So in our training class, we will be focusing much more on first Selenium IDE. Once we are done with Selenium IDE team, okay, then we'll be focusing on working with the core Java concepts. Okay, we will go and focus our knowledge on core Java concepts. Okay, team. So once we are done with the core Java concepts, okay, then we will go and step into work on Selenium RC, then Selenium WebDriver, okay, then Selenium Grid, and then we'll be working on the frameworks. All right. So team, this is how we will be working on it. So hold on team. Water. Okay. So that's all about our demo class team. Over here team,